How's it going, everyone? We're going to go ahead and get into our Conquest guide video for the Jocasta Nu Conquest series. We'll just crash it in because this is normally a long one, but got her in game now. We've got the Feats data mine. Thank you to the data miners over at the Swgoh Events server for doing that. I know JKCK had some trouble unscrambling a few of them. I'll show you guys that as we get there here. I'll move the thing as we get to the Sector 5 feats so that my face is not blocking them, but otherwise, that's it for them. We'll start with the globals in the bottom right corner. Defeat at least 250 enemies on global challenge path. Easy. On the golden challenge path, sorry. Here, I'll even zoom in a little bit more. Make sure you guys can see really well. Because we're only going to go one section at a time. Anyway. So, global feats, like I said. 250 enemies on the golden challenge path. 15 keycards. That's a freebie. Crit chance down 100 times. We had that feat last time. Tarkin was kind of my main focus of getting that done. Easy to put him with something. You get a quick little 5 every battle. So, 20 battles with Tarkin. Boom. If you get any extra, then you get it in less than 20 battles, which is the same as all the other global feats. And if you can find someone you can stall it on, you can get even more, right? But either way, it's an easy 20 battle at max. One of them. 50 Inquisitorious kills. You should be able to do this without Reva, but if you have Reva, this will be a cakewalk. If you just have GI, it'll be fine. If you don't have GI or Reva, that will be a hard one. I am recommending GI and Reva, and if you've seen my Conquest recommended teams videos, Inquisitors are one of those teams because they accomplish so many feats in Conquest, so it's always a good thing to invest in. 20 battles with IR. You're either going to have Imperial Remnants or you're not. We'll talk about that. My alt does not have Imperial Remnants, so we'll talk about what I'm doing, if I'm skipping that or not when we get to my alt. And that was in the last Conquest as well. 20 battles with Night Sisters, also in the last Conquest. My alt also doesn't have Night Sisters. I'm quite upset about that one. But that's a 16 key card because it's got the data tied to it. And then 20 battles with Light Side Mandos, and that's again a 16 key card, or I don't have Light Side Mandos either. If you have if you could field 5 Relic Light Side Mandalorians and put them under BAM, you can get that feat. And I don't even have 5 on my alt account, so I won't even be able to get that going. But again, plan out what crate you want. You can skip 34 key cards for max crate, and you can skip 134 for let me just verify that as I tell you. Yeah, 134 for second for max and 34 for max. So you can skip 2 globals and then one mini boss feat if you can. But if you need to skip 2 globals, I'd recommend just going down to the second highest box. Alright, let's move on to Sector 1. Simple enough here. Bonus turn 50 times. Again, I'll show teams when we get there. I'm recommending Vader, and I'm recommending Jedi Knight Cal. Those are easy. Tons of bonus turns. Breach 50 times. I'm recommending JML and Paz. If you're doing the Light Side Mando Global, Paz will be great for Breach. Otherwise, JML has an AoE Breach. There are other characters with Breach, but those are going to be your main 2. 10 with full resistance. A full squad resistance. Rey or Finn. You can definitely do this with just Finn. You don't have to have Rey, but if you have Rey, that'll be a lot easier. Potency down 50 times comes from Grandmaster Yoda, tying back into our bonus turn feat. And we'll talk about that again. But that's Grandmaster Yoda's basics, easy there. Marok surviving, that means, JML cheese, whatever, if you don't have him geared. Light side only, that's fine. Qui-Gon surviving, that's fine. Huyang in your squad means Huyang can die, so no one should be skipping that one. That's the easy one. Sector 2, we've got crit chance, crit damage down 50 times. There are options for that, like if you're doing Inquisitors, Knights, Sisters, AoE. Sorry, wait, Knights, Sisters, AoE is a different one, but we'll talk about it as we get there. Dash is your big AoE crit damage down. That's the easiest one, kind of the same as what we talked about Tarkin. 5 per battle at most. This is 10. If you can get some extra, then it's even less than 10. And there are other units that do it, but Dash is the easiest. 10 battles of Great Mother surviving. You can cheese this if you don't, JML, Watt, whatever. Just be careful not to try to cheese this with multiple Night Sisters, because then you can run into an issue where, Morgan will taunt if you're doing a Morgan one. So, don't put Morgan in there, for example. But you could do, you could do Great Mother's Leave with, Marin and Zombie and maybe, Daka and Ventress, for example, and it would be fine. Just be careful trying to put a Logan Morgan in there. We had a lot of them tied together last time. You don't have to worry about that this time. So, just need her to survive, no big deal. Full mercs, you should be able to field mercs realistically if you're at least a mid-game player with something like Bam lead with Dash, again tying into our crit damage down here, Dengar, Han Solo maybe, you know, just put, you know, Chrysanthemum if you got Jabba as a tank, if you're having a little bit of trouble surviving. You should be able to field 5 mercs that can win once you've got a good set of data and you're on the bonus node in there. Evasion up 50 times. Inquisitors, Seventh Sisters special ability, or Han Solo's Shrug are the 2 best ways I'm going to be planning on getting that. And we'll talk about exact teams when we get on our accounts. When we're not using, you know, the Jabba, Leia, easy. Imperial Troopers, Grievous as well. Only dark side characters, easy enough. I mean, you guys, I don't need to explain that one. Penalty to be in your squad means shouldn't have to survive. Full squad Electric Republic Jedi. JMK but drop Cat, easy there. Speed down 50 times. Darth Vader has speed down on AoE. It's going to be your easiest. And everybody's got Darth Vader. You can get him when you start the game. 10 battles with Captain Rex surviving. You can cheese this, or if you have him at Relics, you can use a proper Phoenix team. You can use Leia. You can put him under Mon Mothma if you need to. He's a rebel fighter, can be revived by her. So, easy enough there. Stap surviving. That one might be kind of hard. If your Stap's low gear, Grievous is not the best at keeping his team alive. But you can do JML cheese with it if you need to. No big deal there. Adapt or die 35 times. If you have 5 non-droid, non-leader Imperial Troopers to put with Iden, you know, there you go. Easy. 5 per battle at least. But I would keep in mind, you might not win your battles doing this if they're low gear, so you'll just have to sit there on the bonus node and burn the energy 35 times. You get 5 per battle at least, so 7 battles that you just waste energy-wise. It's not the end of the world. But maybe skip this one if you can't really win battles. Might have an easier time skipping it. That way you just don't waste your energy. You can get Datacron materials, whatever, because we are getting a new Datacron set here. One Baylan Skull in your squad. If you don't have Baylan, you can't get those 2 banners. It is what it is there. Only light side is only light side. Full squad of Bad Batch. This was one of the weird ones with the data mine where he's like, hey, it's weird, you know, it's showing like an extra feat here. He's not sure which of the 3. I think he took his best bet. That would be Bad Batch and Gungans, but it's hard to say that for sure. Full squad of Gungans means you still have to have Jar Jar. So that is a 4 key card swing that might change your planning once the Conquest actually goes live. Or if maybe they make some changes to the files later on. But right now it's showing these 3 feats. And they'd all, you know, it's going to be 2 of these. So if the Gungan one, that could cost you 4 key cards. If you don't have Jar Jar, I would assume you can't earn those 4 and plan accordingly. But do keep in mind if maybe 4 key cards is the difference between your next highest box, for example. That might be worth keeping it in mind at least. Alright, and then Saga Rare surviving is, you know, survive, right? 10 battles with Night Trooper and Enoch in your squad. Again, we had this feat last time. They don't have to live. I'm just putting him with Sith Eternal on my alt account. I'm using him in full Imperial Remnant on my main account, so easy enough there. No big deal. Accuracy up 50 times. Seer and Scareful Pathfinder are going to be easiest there. Her basic and his basic gives it to someone who doesn't have it. I believe Seer only gives it to UFUs. Scareful Pathfinder gives it to anyone. So those are going to be your best methods of getting accuracy up. Accuracy downs, easy. We've got a lot of AoE accuracy downs, and we've got other ways to get it. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember, but I've got the teams I'll show when we get there. Defeat with droid enemies, and that's going to be Grievous, realistically. If you need to cheese it, put a light side droid with JML, and use the granted ability on that light side droid, and get your droid kills with JML Watt cheese. But again, you know, you had to do something with JML Watt in Sector 3 if you're like cheesing Stap, maybe you're Captain Rex, so this can get pretty stretched on your JML, so just keep that in mind. Full squad of Spectre. Again, we've got an extra one that may not count here. If you don't have Ezra Exile, you're not going to be able to do that. And that would be 3 key cards. If you don't have Luthen, you can't do that, but it doesn't have to survive at least. So if you just have Luthen unlocked, you can get this feat. If you don't have full squad of Spectre, you're not going to be able to do that. If they're not strong enough, you still might not be able to do it. Even if you have 5 members, it's just going to be a question of how hard is this mini boss going to be. So keep these in mind as question marks for the Spectre one and potentially the Ezra one, of which 2 it ends up with, and if you can do them or not. Then I've got win with only light side characters, one Darth Bane. If you don't have Darth Bane, that's 4 you can't earn. And let me move our thing here so you guys can see Sector 5. Here we go. It's unlikely to be needed, but I can't tell which ones. So here you go on that. Win with both Shin. Hati and Moroccan in your squad again. They don't need to survive, so you're coming in a lot easier there. Give me a moment. I'm just turning down my mic. I am peaking harder than usual. Somehow I messed up my sound settings last night. Defeat 35 enemies with Phoenix units. So if you have like a full proper Phoenix team, you can do that. No issue there. If you don't have a full Phoenix team, you may have a harder time doing that, and that's not a big deal. But you can put them with JML. So, for example, if you have a Relic Ezra or a Relic Kanan, they're actually Relic Jedi, right? So, excuse me, sorry. They're actually Relic Jedi, right? So you don't even have to do Watt with your JML to get the kills with them. If you don't have Relic Ezra and Kanan, you just have like Hera from Profundity, you will have to do Watt and do the JML granted cheese. Evasion down, 3POC has it on his basic, you just throw CLS for that. That's just the easiest thing in the world to do is just, you know, especially if you find like a first order team of Kylo Ren on mass, just throw CLS at it. One battle, you'll just time out if you don't have any ramping, you'll get all your evasion down. Super easy. JKCK kills. If you have JKCK, it's going to be easy. If you don't have JKCK, you can't do it. So there's 15 key cards you'll miss. And that is unfortunate, having one character locked in your 15 key card sector 5 feet. That sucks. But unfortunately, that's just the way it breaks out. Defeat him as Ezra Exile. Again, we saw that one in Sector 4, so it's like, what's up with that? Also being here. So, you know, maybe that means this is not likely to be here, and it's really just here, but either way, keep in mind there's 3 key cards that'll be tied to Ezra Preacher Exile. Hokey Religion's here at 3, easy enough. If GL Sagatano, you don't have GL Sagatano, there's 5 key cards you can't earn. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're not super cutting edge, there's a solid chance you won't be able to max rate this. You know, if you're missing Ahsoka, Baylan, maybe you're missing JKCK, maybe you don't have Bo-Katan, maybe you're struggling with the light side Mandos, maybe you can't field an Ice Sister team. There's not a lot you can skip here if you're missing JKCK, Ahsoka, and Baylan. You're already immediately down 22 key cards. So then you can only skip 12 more. So it is very difficult if you don't have, and I don't have Ahsoka myself, but I have everything else that I need, so it's okay. Win without a GL, easy enough. Everyone has a non-GL team, so that's not a big deal. All right, let's show you what I'm using on my main account. All right, main account teams that we're using. So our first team is Reva. You can also use GI. None of the feats are tied to Reva's abilities. It's all the rest of them. Potency down. First off, the Global Inquisitor feat. Potency down in Sector 1. I believe that's 9th Sister's AoE. Yep, potency down for 2 turns on all enemies. And then we've got Sector 2 Evasion up. That's on her special there. Then we've got Sector 4 Accuracy down. I believe that's on his AoE. Yep, Accuracy down, 8th Brother's AoE. That's why 9th is here. Normally you wouldn't have 2 tanks in here. You could sub her out after Sector 1 once you get your potency down done. Second important team that we're using here is Palpatine. And that is getting us our crit chance down global feat, bonus turn feats in Sector 1, and Sector 3 speed down feat on Darth Vader's AoE. Vader being a critical part, Tarkin as well. Global for Imperial Remnant, so full squad Imperial Remnant here. Sector 3 speed down. Night Troopers basic inflicts speed down. And then we've got Sector 4, we have the, it's not really survive, I just had to have 3 letters. I'm limited on keywords here in the name. That's just the one for Night Trooper and Captain Enoch to be in the same squad. There's no point in me cheesing this with like Sith Eternal since I have the entire team. So I'll just run this team in the sector. And then we've got the Sector 4 Accuracy down, which I believe Scout does on his basic. So we get some progress on that as well while we're doing the Night Trooper Enoch feat. We've got the Global for Night Sisters as well as the Sector 2 Great Mothers survive. We're just going to use our proper Great Mothers team. Should be able to easily handle it. Global for Lightside Mandos. Sector 1 Breach. Breach is on Paz Vizsla's AoE. And then Sector 2 Crit Damage down is either on the same AoE or the other AoE. Is on the same AoE. So Paz's, first special there, really helpful, tons of feats there. Just 2 on it alone in the first 2 sectors, as well as pushing our global feat. And then we've got a JML team that we're going to run in Sector 1 and Sector 5. JML's got our Breach, JKCK has our bonus turns, GMY has potency down, and then Sector 5 for our JKCK kills. You can swap GMY out by the time you get to Sector 5 as well. Sector 1 Resistance, this is the team I will run. You can't run Ben because you do need full resistance. I might swap Finn out as I get low on stamina because he might get himself killed, taunting. Maybe we swap him out to like BB-8 or something to that effect. Sector 2, we've got Merc, we've got crit chance down, and then we've got a Sector 5 Shin and Marok in the squad. They don't need to survive again. Just limited on characters here. For our full Merc, I'm using Baylan Skull. You can use BAM, no problem. My alt account is going to use BAM, and I'll show you that when we get to my alt. I also know that my head will start to block the list as we get to the bottom, so I will, I'll hide my webcam as we get to the bottom, don't worry. But anyway, so Baylan, gets our Merc, and then Dash gets our crit damage down on his AoE. And then in the Sector 5, just the Shen and Marok in the team. I just tossed Cad Bane in here. He does have accuracy down on his basic. I didn't really feel like it was significant enough to note it, but if you are looking for someone else who can do accuracy down in Sector 4, you can use Cad Bane. But I've got enough teams to use the Sector 4 right now, I just didn't feel like noting it. But if you want extra unit to toss in there, you can use Cad Bane in Sector 4 under Jabba, under regular bounty hunters, whatever you'd like to do. But I wouldn't consider him a significant source having it on the basic there. Sector 2, we got CLS for evasion up with Han Solo's special, Never Tell Me the Odds. And then we've got Sector 5 evasion down on 3PO and Chewie's frantic shot basic. Sector 3, Captain Rex survive. I'm just going to throw Leia at it. She'll easily walk through the sector without losing anyone. I have Mon Mothma here just in case Rex or Drogon takes a little dirt nap. We'll just bring him back with Mon Mothma. No problems there. Sector 3, Stap survive, and Sector 4, droid kills. I think I could technically skip pretty much both of those on this account. No, I can skip one of them. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it anyway. But this is what I'm going to do for my droid kills. Maybe I'd swap Stap for Newt in Sector 3, but not really necessary. Then, in Sector 4. But it'll get both. Sector 3, Adapt or Die. Again, non-leader, non-droid Imperial Troopers. I do need to watch... Oh, I'm glad I talked through it. I can't use Stormtrooper because I already have used all my options there. Okay, we have to use Stormtrooper, so I'll need to swap out my last IR here to not be Stormtrooper. And I will put TFB. So just to make sure that we're not overlapping stamina here, in case we're still running them, because we will need to in Sector 3, got speed down, and then a lot of Sector 4 feats, so I don't want to accidentally lower my stamina there. So use a team that has no overlap with each other. Sector 3 for our adapter type with Iden. Sector 4 accuracy up comes from Sears Basic. All allies get accuracy up for 2 turns, so technically you don't even have to have her in a UFU team. You could toss her with JML and just toss this granted her way over and over and over again. If you don't have the entire team, you just level her ability up. What level does it need to be? Yeah, you don't even have to give the Omega. You could have her low gear and just call her to assist. All allies get accuracy up for 1 turn. So you can have her low gear, no Omega on her basic, and just pass the granted from Luke over and over again, and you can get that accuracy up, no problem. Sector 4, again, more accuracy up options. I don't plan to use this, but I wanted to show it to y'all as well. Grant accuracy up for 2 turns to a random ally who doesn't have it. But again, you could swap him out for Seer and make that work as well. Last team I've got on my list, Sector 5, Phoenix kills. I'm going to use full Phoenix team, but again, you could come in here, and I'm not going to save it, but like you could put in Phoenix, and you could do Ezra and Kane, you could do one of them, neither of them, your preference, and you wouldn't have to bring Watt in there because they're Jedi, and you could still use the granted to get kills. So those are my main account options, and we'll be right back with the alt account. Alright, we're on to my alt account, 10 million, not as big as my main account, for sure, and missing a ton of tools for this conquest. So, my alt account has to skip quite a few feats. We're going to be skipping the global, the light side mandos, that's worth 16 key cards, the global for the Night Sisters, which is worth 16 key cards, global for the Imperial Remnants, which is worth 15 key cards, global for the, Sector 1 Great Mother survive, Sector 3 Stap survive, Adapt or Die, which I believe is also Sector 3, and Sector 5 Phoenix kills. Mini boss and boss wise, I cannot do a total of 24 key cards worth of those. I could definitely do some of them, right? Like I could definitely make the Great Mother survive work. I could definitely get a little bit farther, but to me it was like, well, if I'm gonna be stuck in a situation where I have to skip you know, I can't get max anyway. There's no reason for me to force myself into that higher difficulty. It's like, all right, well, if I'm going to be doing this anyway, let's just skip some that will be obnoxious since we can't get max. Anyway, so we're going to be one crate below max, which means I can skip up to 134. All the feats I named off still gives me a margin of about almost 20 key cards. So even if I have trouble with some of the feats, some of the mini boss feats, I've got margin there to easily second crate from max. A lot of these are going to be the same as my main account, but we'll talk through them. Same Inquisitor team, same Palp, JML, Ray. This is my Merc team on this account. So that's going to be Bam Lead. In my opinion, Bam Lead is superior because Scoundrel allies get 5% max protection, max health, and offense for each Scoundrel at the start. So everyone's getting 25% roughly. I don't know if they're all 5. I think they're all 5 Scoundrels. Yep, they're all 5 Scoundrels. So you're getting 25% max health protection and offense, as well as, most importantly, when an enemy takes damage, Scoundrel allies gain 2% turn meter. So that means every time, you know, Dash is doing his AoE that does damage 3 times, you're getting tons of turn meter. So that's 3 hits of damage, 2%, 5 enemies. So 3 times 5, 15 times 2% turn meter. So Dash's AoE generates 30% turn meter for the entire team. This does damage more than once total per enemy. It does like 8 instances of damage on his whistling birds. Point is, you have a lot of AoE turn meter pushing happening with like Vetsmar Han, Dengar, and I brought a tank just to be safe. And especially if you can get like Amplify Agni type discs going, you know, debuff offense stacking discs, this will quickly take care of your enemies. Dash lead is nice, but the bottom line is you get this small bonus. You know, tank, okay, you get 15% max health. That's less than the entire team gets. You know, that's 50% crit damage is not worth as much as 25% offense. I think you get the point. The 10 speed is nice, but at the same time you're playing Conquest. And we don't have prepared people, so, and of course, sorry, some of that gets doubled, you know, for light side, but we don't have a full prepared team on this account. If I had, like, full prepared Scoundrels, and if they're all mercenaries, which I'm not sure if they all are or not, I think they are, then I would do that, but I don't have that, so Bam Lead makes more sense. And I don't have Mandos, so I can't use, you know, a full light side Mando team anyway. So there's no need for me to worry about that one. But that's the first big change, and that gets me my merc and my crit damage down as well. Droid kills, I don't have stap on this account. I'm not doing the stap feat, but I just plugged a Newt here. He shouldn't steal any kills. He should just help get some debuffs or maybe give me an extra life there. Same accuracy up here. I'm doing, like I said, Sith Eternal with these two just to cheese my, you know, Enoch and Knight battles, and then Sector 5 SLK with them to cheese the Marak Shin battles. That's it. Those are the only changes. Otherwise, these teams are pretty consistent. I'm hoping a lot of you have, you know, this you don't need. Like, this is overkill, right? Like, you could, again, Mothma, JML, Cheese. There are options there, but a lot of people, you know, are going to have Grievous, are going to have Commander Luke. I hope you have Seer teams fantastically fun, but again, I talked about earlier, you can do it with her low gear. Hopefully you have Executors, so you have Bam. Maybe you have Dash from Jabbar Profundity. Maybe you have, you know, Finn lead or Ray lead here. Hopefully you have JML or at least Jedi Revan to put with GMY for some of these feats, and you'll have to find an alternative for your Breach. I'll say that though. And hopefully you have a little Palp lead Empire team with Tarkin to get your bonus turns, your crit damage or crit chance down, your speed down in Sector 3, and then hopefully you have Inquisitors because again they cover a lot. Feats for us here. But that's it. That's how I'm breaking my teams up on my alt account. I hope that helps. Again, I'm sorry I didn't move my head to show you the last team, but hopefully that helps you in your planning. Let me know if you've got any extra suggestions. You know, there's always things I miss. People are always like, "Oh, you forgot about this character that's got this great way to get this." So please let me know, and I'll do what I can to like pin a comment or something. You know, help people as they look for solutions for this conquest, find better ones. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Good luck with the Jocasta Nu conquest.